After Hours.
On this episode of the History of the Course After Hours podcast, we discuss the fun time happy hour band from Franklin, Tennessee, known as Paramore. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at IsSurvivedByPro for news and the latest episode postings. And make sure to subscribe to the show. Leave us a 5-star review and write us a comment on YouTube or whatever podcast service you're using. And if you'd like to see us do some live streams, leave us a comment or tweet us the keyword stream. Now, without further ado, let's start the show.
The devil is in Atlanta. Army surrounded.
Welcome back to the History of the Course After Hours podcast, where each and every episode I, Curtis, sit down with my good friend and avid listener to the History of the Course podcast, Erik. Hey, Erik. How's it going?
Great.
Just smile and wave, buddy. Just smile and wave. Oh, man. Oh, buddy, I know you've been looking forward to talk about this band that we're going to talk about today, right? Been super
Looking
excited
forward and dreading all at the same time.
Oh, okay. Oh, all right.
A little bit of
Yeah.
dread.
Okay. I'm trying to pull something up here. Hold on a second. Wait a minute. Wait a minute there. Okay. Anyway, yeah, we're talking about who are we talking about? I don't know who we're talking about. Talking about the band known as Paramore. And if you stick around to the end of the episode, there will be a special guest. Who could it be? It's not her. I'll tell you that right now, because if it was, I'd probably die of happiness. Anyway. So yeah, we're talking about the band known as Paramore. And Erik, I got a question for you before we start here. Do you do you know what time it is?
Is it punk time?
Close.
No.
It's party time.
Oh, snap.
Yeah. We're getting into some fun time happy hours. Yes. All right, Erik, as
Oh,
always, I like to start off the episode. And yes, I am gonna wear these the whole time. Me and Josh have done full episodes with these on. I think I actually wore a real pair of sunglasses during the Iwabo episode, actually, too. My tank top and everything. I was going full party core there, man. Today I'm going full fun time happy hour. Alrighty. As always, Erik. Come on, get off. Pull those off, man. How are you introduced to the band known as Paramore?
Sometime way back in the day. I wasn't at the record store on release day or anything like that, but I can remember Riot being the new big thing, So I think Josh had described he had heard a few things off of oh golly. And I call myself a fan. The Red Couch album.
All we know is falling. The red couch.
Falling, yes. Yeah, the Red Couch. Anyway, but I didn't really like super jump in until Riot. And when I jumped in, I went both feet forward and sunk to the bottom and stayed there.
Tied a rock around my waist and I sank to the bottom.
And I enjoyed myself the whole time.
Nice. I died with a smile on my face. Very nice. Okay, so have you listened to the full discography?
I have. I finally sat down.
Okay.
That was
So
the
you finally
dread because I had not done that up until recently.
Okay, so brand new listener comes up to you, wants to know what they're about to get into with the band known as Paramore across their discography. How are you describing it to them?
You do have to separate this one out because there are a couple very different genres. The first three, I'd say, are kind of pop punk, pretty standard of the time. Later stuff is just progressively more funky, chill, party, ambient, dance-ish music, kind of like them sunglasses you got going there. It's party time.
It's party time,
There
buddy.
you go.
It's party time.
So that is kind of the overall, because you do have to separate the two sides out because it is very different. It is two different bands almost.
Okay. Yeah, I would agree. Okay, so I mean, let's rip that band-aid off now, Eric. There's a big old wound underneath. You're
Oh,
not
oh.
much of a second era fan, are you? And when I say second era, I'm talking self-titled, After Laughter, and This Is Why. Correct?
As a whole, no.
Okay.
The simple answer is it's just not what I signed up for in the beginning when
Right.
I was there
Okay.
for, Riot being the big new thing.
Right.
Me finding a copy of Riot somewhere. I don't know where that came from, to be honest, still. I don't know if I found it at the store and stuck it in the basket and somehow got it home, or
Like $2
hey,
bin at
Mom,
Walmart or something.
the $2 bin, maybe. I don't know. But who snuck this CD in here? Oh, it's only $5. Fine.
Exactly. Hmm.
But anyway, but back in that time, it's just not what I signed up for. I did give you some notes on those, how I felt when I was listening to them.
Okay.
Let me see here.
Yes, I go for it
So
because
they're self-titled, which this is almost first reaction style from basically Monster on. I didn't
Okay.
give anything a chance after that, basically. I knew what was going on within the band, and I decided I don't want to play with that anymore. It just didn't
I'm
appeal to me at
sorry.
that time.
I'm sorry. Your video was really lagging for a second there. I've never seen it do this, but all of a sudden, like it just decided to like fast forward and try to like catch up. And so you were like talking super fast in the video. That's funny. Okay, anyway, carry on. I'm sorry.
So everything from after Monster is all pretty much new to me. So I think I had heard on the radio once or twice. What's that one off self-titled that's super popular?
Ain't it fun?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. I was like, that's the
Anyway,
one I can remember hearing on the radio.
That's probably all I had ever really heard off of that. And, at that point I was going, I don't know who that is. Couldn't be Paramore.
He was thinking, no, this really isn't very fun. No, this ain't fun.
Starting at self-titled here, I feel like it is a left turn. Maybe not a super hard left turn, but it's a left turn. We're making forks in the road and we're choosing which way to go here. Definitely a lot more electronics. A lot of the lyrics, they start feeling young again to me. Going, look, guys, I'm all grown up. Not just full of that teen angst and drama stuff that I did before.
I'm a new woman.
And it's just like, yeah. The voice doesn't feel as full as the previous releases do. She's not, really belting it like she used to. And I don't know if that's a production thing or I noticed y'all mentioned in the original episode, the producer who worked with Angels and Airwaves worked on this album. I was almost wondering, did he tell her to do that? Was he saying, try something a little different?
It's possible.
But
sometimes these
producers have a lot of pull.
hands-on. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I didn't know how that went, but anyway, part 2 of the song is not bad. Redeemable, in fact. Be my probably favorite off that album. But as a whole, the album feels like they're trying really hard. And not necessarily succeeding, in my opinion, but it's just so hard trying. After Laughter, they definitely fully embrace the new sound, for better or worse. If you like it, cool. Lyrics are definitely better than self-titled. Feels a lot more natural. Like I said, self-titled just felt so forced. I'm trying so hard for whatever it is that I'm trying to do here. If somebody said at this point, after Laughter said, hey, you need to check out Hayley Williams' new side project. It's called whatever. And they have this cool album, After Laughter. I'd say, okay. And I might be more into it, but it just doesn't feel like Paramore anymore.
Which is funny because like she ends up doing solo work after Laughter. That's
Right.
hard to say. After laughter.
After. So,
Okay.
and then we get into This Is Why. Definitely more funky. I almost want to say funky fresh, but I don't know about the fresh, in my opinion.
Funkadelic.
Slightly less electronic than After Laughter as a whole. I still echo the basics off of After Laughter, though. You know, if somebody said this is the side project, not Paramore, I might give it a shot, and I might actually, put it on a spin once in a while and play it through. But because it's not awful, it's just not what I signed up for in the beginning.
Right. Yes. And that's the foundation is it's not what you're used to with Paramore. We both
Yeah.
grew up on, the Riot and the Brand New and even All We Know Is Falling.
Yep.
And so to turn to this era of it, it's just a little hard because we hold on so tight to the older version of Paramore. So
Right.
yeah. I mean, because I personally I don't hate these three albums. They're all right, but I'm with you too. It's like I'm not like I may be feeling like a song here and there, but I'm not feeling, hey, I want to listen to After Laughter today as a whole,
Right.
So it's just not
Well,
it's not our cup of tea.
let's throw out the self-titled album. I don't like it, to be honest. It feels like a transitional album between the
I
two
would
sounds.
yes. Yeah, I was about to say because there's a lot of like both. It feels like you're
Yeah.
still hanging on from the first
Yeah.
era, but you're still trying to implement the new, which they called it a rebirth album basically because
Yeah.
they were trying to like reinvent themselves, reintroduce themselves to the fans
Right.
or whatever. So yeah, I can see where it can be an awkward album. But yeah, and
So
I
doing
kind of
both, I don't feel
struggled,
either well.
right. I kind
So
of struggled trying to determine if I really felt like it was a transitional. And I think you're helping me really say, yeah, I think it is a transitional album. So
yep.
okay, so we got that part out. Let's talk
Yep.
about the part that we really know that we grew up on, the first half of the era. I'm gonna leave probably
Nostalgia.
more. Yes, we'll leave more of that second half of the discography for my special guest here later on. Um, but how we get from the beginning of this band, the inception to their first album is honestly quite interesting if you really start kind of looking at the history. Haley was signed as a solo artist with the thought from the record company that she could be the next big pop star, kind of like an Avril Lavigne, Kelly Clarkson. That's what they were looking for. Whereas she was kind of looking more for like a no doubt garbage situation where, hey, I can be the lead person, but I want an actual band of my picking to back me up and to kind of be like all together it's not just me and then all four guys or whatever. It's five people in a band. And it's interesting because you know it's not like the record label that they were on was some huge label, but I mean they were pretty well known at the time. And so for her to be able to convince the record label to allow her to choose the band members, to allow them to all write the songs together is just like it's pretty amazing. And those songs end up coming out into All We Know Is Falling. Um, Now it's said at times to be kind of a middle of the road album with lyrics that revolve around people leaving. For example, their bassist Jeremy Davis, which he's got a lot of personal problems going on, whatever. At least for the moment, he leaves. He ends up coming back, obviously, but also at the same time, Haley's having to deal with her parents' divorce. Um, Debut album wise, though, Eric, how do you feel about it?
It is young. I will say that. As
Is
far
it
as sound,
angsty?
it's a bit angsty, but it's not like super immature either.
Right. Yeah.
It's not like a 12-year-old sitting down going, I'm going to write a song today. It's actually, considering how young all of them were, it's pretty mature for their age, you could say. It is less depth lyrically than later releases. Overall sound is here. I mean, it's not exactly a figure it out kind of album.
Right.
I always enjoyed the first this first album. All the first three on the album are absolute bangers. We got All We Know, Pressure, and Emergency there.
Bangers.
Flatline, perfect. Mm.
Bangers.
You do get a little, I guess, a little lull right after that, in my opinion. But I'll play the whole album through and through. That's not a problem. It's a good album.
That's a good album.
It's not
to
like
just
it
put
takes
on when
enough
you go.
of a dip where I'm like, nope, got to turn it off. It's terrible. No, never like
Right.
that. So it is a good album, absolutely.
Nice. Okay, so we got that debut album, and I mean, what's gonna happen next? Oh, they're gonna fall off the cliff, right? No. You mentioned the word bangers, Eric. Well, I got two more bangers for you in the form of Riot and Brand New Eyes, which really put the group squarely on the map of, major bands in the mid to late 2000s. Riot shows more of a mature style of writing, or as Josh likes to put it, less on the nose, which is kind of like what you're saying about, all we know is falling. And Riot was so popular that it spawned a quote lay it to rest concert CD/DVD entitled The Final Riot, which immediately I think of My Chemical Romance's Black Parade, where they went on tour for like 130 some odd shows across the world just for that album. And it was so popular that they did the same thing. It was like, all right, here's our final show. We're going to record it. We're going to release it. We're putting it to bed because we're done with it. So I always think of those two albums when I think of one or the other. But Brand New Eyes, though, is a little more drama filled. And if you know, you know. But it's still a great album. But overall, what are your thoughts on these two defining albums early in the career? And then also with Brand New Eyes, did it pass the Davey Havoc quote test?
So both of these albums, back to back, front to back, sideways, forward, absolutely plays all the way through.
Noise.
Never a skip. Never a skip.
Never a skip.
They definitely defined a generation with Riot starting here.
Gosh, yes.
Started 1.5 million spin-off bands, whether or not they themselves even admit it. Just to name a couple I had off top of my list, Tonight Alive, Hey Monday, were both formed in 2008, just a year after Riot.
Forgot about Hey Monday. That's funny.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate one. I think the lead singer sickness got to her there. Anyway,
well, it happens.
That it does happen. Quite unfortunate.
Oh God, this
So,
is. Oh jeez, some of the way these guys are dressed. That's a throwback.
Right. So, and after that hype, I think they followed up really, really well with Brand New Eyes. Maybe a slower song here and there, but no flat stop or flat spots or stops in the record. Definitely, in my opinion, lived up to Davey Havoc's quote, being that, they were defined, they were remembered for, Brand New Eyes because, well, Riot was good, but how are they going to follow that up? And they followed it up flawlessly. I mean, as good as you can. So this is the era that definitely put them on the map and likely still keeps putting money in their pockets day in and day out.
Oh, for sure.
I was looking at like the top streams on Spotify, and out of the, I think it was, if you include Decode, because I think that one's always in there, 4 out of the top 5 are from this era.
Jeez, man. Wow. Sorry, I'm doing a deep dive now into. I went down a rabbit hole, buddy. I'm sorry. There is one band. Huh?
Got you on the Hey Monday.
Yeah, well, and I started she looked familiar, and so I was trying to figure out who she was, and I went to kind of a rabbit hole of wait, is she this person? But she's not. And now I'm trying to remember. Oh, is it this one band? There was another band that I remember listening to growing up that was female led, and I'm trying to remember when they first started. They started in 2006. Okay, yeah, We Are the In Crowd was the band I was thinking of. They had a lead singer. It was funny because that I always remember that band because that girl that was the lead singer, she looked like a girl that I dated back in high school, and weird. It wasn't her, but Anyway,
Right.
uh, okay. I'm sorry. Did they pass the Davy Havoc? They did, right? I mean, how did they not?
Yes, yes, they definitely lived
Okay.
up to it.
Okay.
They
Yes,
are
that was the one
remembered.
part I did miss, though. Yes. I mean, I wrote that down. I thought, I mean, come on. Is he gonna say no? Come on now.
I could, but
He
I'd be
could,
wrong.
but. Okay, so one final question here before we get to your favorites, um, and our special guest as well.
Oh,
This is more of a concert kind of question. Have you ever heard of or seen firsthand a band allow time in their sets for one of their members, other than the lead singer, to play songs from their side project?
outside of a lead singer, I can't say that I've heard of anything like that. That's definitely weird.
Yeah. That's
I could
apparently that's
almost
what.
see Under Oath doing that with Aaron,
Oh boy. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
that's about the. But that being said, that is such a strange situation there in general.
Right. Yeah.
But outside of that, that's
Apparently,
about it.
apparently at the Paramore concert that Josh went to, they let the drummer, Zach Farrow, play a few songs from his side project. And Josh was saying that not everybody, if anybody at all, was really into it. And I really kind of understand like what he's saying. I mean, it'd be one thing if it was like his side project was like super popular, or whatever. He came from a different band. They're like, yeah, play a song from that. Come on, you guys want to hear a song from him? But yeah, I don't know. That did seem weird. When he told me that, I was like, yeah, that does not seem like it would play very well, but I don't know. This the other weird thing too is this is a band that has dealt with like contract issues at times. So I almost kind of
Yeah.
wonder if he's like, in my contract, I will be allowed to play one or two songs every concert from my side project. Like, fine, whatever. If that means you can take a cut and pay, then we'll let you do it, I guess. Who knows?
Uh,
But
right.
okay. Yeah, that's what we have from Eric. But wait, there's more from our special guest. Are you
Ooh.
ready for our special guest? Well, here she comes right now. Alrighty, here she is, my special guest on this episode of the After Hours podcast. My sister-in-law, Elizabeth. What's going on, Liz?
Nothing. Just hanging.
Doing all right today?
Yeah.
Nice. Nice. You ready to talk about should I say favorite band? Is this your favorite band?
It is my top. I don't really make like a number list or anything, but it
Mm,
is one of my top that I'll never get tired of. I'll never stop listening. But I
okay.
do, I mean, I guess I'm one of those fans that keeps up constantly with them, always
Yeah.
checking the socials and everything,
Right.
waiting, anticipating new music.
Right. Need new music. Need new music. Sweet.
Always.
I mean, surely we'll get some soon, wouldn't you think? I feel like we're kind
Hopefully
of on
they
that timeline for it.
I mean, they always tease me with like shots of them being in the studio and stuff
Right.
like that. I'm like, oh, is it happening?
Yeah. I
So
told Josh on the original episode, I'm really glad that they're finally at the point where they're just doing it themselves. They're not on a record label anymore. So that's the
right.
goal.
And that's
So,
even another thing too that I feel like so with her just being signed, she kind of like cheated the label a little bit
right.
by because she had to release a certain number of albums. And so when they went on, like Paramore, the band, went on their own little hiatus and she did her own two albums,
Mhm.
that was also towards the label. Like that, those two albums she
Oh,
did. That's a little snippet that,
sneaky.
yeah, that
Okay.
y'all
I
didn't get
like
around
that.
to, is that I
Okay.
knew about, is that those two albums that she had released were a part of her contract. And
Okay.
so when
Okay.
they came back together and they released, This Is Why in 2023, that was the last album. They were done because, yeah, she released those other two. Anyways,
See, that's why I brought you on this episode to give me a little more insight, you know?
yeah.
Well, yeah. Okay, let's get on into it. As always, I like to ask Eric a couple of uh basic questions on the After Hours podcast. So I'm going to throw it your way too. Liz, how were you introduced to the band known as Paramore?
Well, this is probably gonna age you a little bit. Um,
What? Okay.
because I was probably, so I definitely remember like Riot was probably the first album I got into,
Mm.
but I was like 10, 11 years old at the time. Um, yeah.
Oh boy.
So, and definitely with having, because I have an older sister, so
Mm.
definitely, you know, also she was kind of into that like
Right.
music and stuff at the time too.
Following, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, definitely. I remember Crush 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 was probably the first song. I mean, obviously, memory is hazy. I don't really remember exactly, but yeah, that was probably, but I was very young.
Yeah.
I was a
But
baby.
you came in about the time that everybody else really did with, like you said, Riot. So
Right, which, and then when I really started getting into them, obviously, you go back and start
right.
listening, but I feel like that was when I first really got
Starting
into them.
point.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so I mean, we've talked about it over and over and over on After Hours podcast, the original episode. They've kind of gone through a little bit of transition from the beginning of even times of like Riot to now with their newest album of This Is Why. Brand new listener comes up to you. They say, I want to get into Paramore. A lot of pressure, right? Uh, how are you describing Paramore's sound to that new listener?
Um, I feel like because each album is very different. And
Mm,
so, like, it's definitely, I mean, the thing that they do keep consistent is the whole like rocky, like rock vibe. But I mean, then you go into like After Laughter, and that album is it's more like poppy
mm,
and kind of
yeah,
more like attuned to like mainstream, but
right.
also it's a very depressing album. Like if I want to be sad, but like,
Yeah.
let's get
Well,
it,
that's
girl.
yeah, and that's what me and Josh talked about was like the music's very like kind of happy, but then if you like start reading the lyrics, it's like, oh shoot, it's the total opposite.
That's definitely, I think, the point,
Yeah.
is that like she's even said in interviews before too. I know that, um, I mean, it was that time was very hard for her. And so I know that, yeah, she made it so that it was very, like, the lyrics, yeah, are very depressing and sad. But she's like, let's put a, upbeat twist to it.
Right.
Like, yeah, life sucks and it sucks to be on your own, but we're doing it.
But we're doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Okay, so you got to experience them live in the
Hmm.
flesh, in concert form. Josh talked a little bit about it. You just mentioned to me that he missed a lot of stuff when he told me his memories of it. But now I want to hear from you. Give me your experience of that Paramore concert, musically, fan interaction, theatrics, stoppages in the show, apparently, different stuff like that.
Yeah. So I would say, yes, that my little 11, 12, 13-year-old self would die because I wanted to go see them so bad when I was younger too and getting into them. And it also that reminds me, I had one of their merch shirts that I still think about to this day that I wish I could find, but it's like gone forever in the ether.
Oh, like when you were younger?
Yes, it was just a white shirt. I don't know if anybody will ever remember this, but it's a white shirt, and then it had like a blue kind of like puzzle, I think heart on the front. And then yeah, like I said, Paramore. I had that shirt when I was younger, and I want it back. But anyways,
Hey,
I'm
eBay. Go
swirling.
look on like eBay or one of those sites.
I
Because me and
have,
Josh
but
have
maybe I
found like
need
a lot
to.
of me and Josh have found a lot of like older band shirts that we used to wear on those sites that we thought were the same, but just like gone forever. But
Ooh, yeah, okay. That takes me back to this other site I found recently for him. Anyways, um, but it was everything and more. Now, I will say the thing about concerts nowadays, because we weren't down in the pit, and plus,
mm,
like, my body can't handle that like it used to. And so, like, I would have been in the pit, but also, like, being older now, I was like, nah, I need
nah.
to be up in, the stands, up in the seats. So that's where we were, but like pretty close down. So, like, we had a really good view of the stage, and like it wasn't terrible. Um, but I feel like nowadays, at especially concerts, like big concerts like that, I feel like unless you're in the pit and you bring a lot of people, there's not a whole lot of interaction with everyone around you.
Mm,
Um, which kind of sucks, but I mean, it is what it is. Like everyone pretty much just keeps to themselves. But I mean, I had a great time. I was singing every single song. I was vibing. I was dancing, having a great time. Um, yeah, and so set list wise, they played 21 songs total.
woo. Okay.
Yeah. And yeah, I know Josh had mentioned too that so Zach Farrow, their drummer, he even had his little moment because he's got his own little side piece.
Yeah. What'd you think about that?
I thought it was cute
Okay.
and like it was different. It was fun. She was trying to like, because he's one of the only other people, I believe, that have their own little side projects. And so I think she was just trying to be inclusive, because they like over the years, like she's gotten a lot of crap
Yeah.
about, oh, it's everything revolves around her type of thing.
Right.
And so I think it was really cool. It was kind of like during the show, it was kind of weird because I feel like nobody knew what was going on,
They're
his
like,
song. But like I pre-prepared, and I was like looking at their set list from, previous shows, and I knew that they were going to be including him. And so I had listened to the song a couple of times. So I was kind of familiar with it, but I don't know. I thought it was fun.
okay.
It was
Yeah.
cool. Um,
I
but
mean, I
yeah,
respect what she was doing. I respect that including him. It was just kind of when
right.
he told me that, I was kind of like, yeah, it's
And
okay.
that's that like the half noise cover that they did of the song's called Baby. Yeah.
Hmm, okay.
Um, but oh my goodness, I'll tell you what, I fangirled the heck out because
Oh no.
okay, I love I love that she's together with Taylor. I
Hmm,
love that she's happy. It's like even so you know how like any bands they'll go and they'll do interviews with Zane Lowe
hmm.
and yeah, loved their interview and I could tell that like finally she's in a happy healthy relationship with him
That's good.
and
Yeah.
like they've known each other since forever, since they were
Right.
kids. And so I just like fangirled, like geeked out because so the song, hang on, let me look at my little notes here.
Okay.
Ooh, so when they played Crystal Clear, which is off her album, let me like 2 secs.
No, you're good. Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, I'm like, it's do, 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 do.
Was it off her first one?
Petals for Armor. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
the first one.
Yeah.
Because I was about to say Flowers for Vases. I was like, no, it's not that one. Um, so I love that she had her own little moment. But there was a Friends to Lovers intro to that song, which little like geeky girl moment here. Um, he actually, so Taylor had wrote, so I believe, I wish I would have refreshed on this story, but I'm pretty sure he had gotten with her grandfather. And I believe it was either a song that he wrote or like he had sung. And so basically like he had surprised her with that. And there's a video of it. There's
Oh,
like a clip of it online and everything, something like
okay.
that.
Okay.
I should have refreshed up on this, but it's so cute. And I'm like, oh, I love them. So yeah, when they were like, I believe I have a video of it saved on my phone too, of them during that moment, but it was just really sweet, really special. Like, because he's also like Taylor's also like a very shy person.
Oh, okay.
Um, yeah, like doesn't like he's not himself usually, like unless, I guess in private, but like anytime you see him and stuff like that, like he's very just like hiding.
Very, yeah. Kind of, yeah.
Whereas the other two are just nuts and crazy.
Right.
So yeah, I thought it, and then I think that's like really like very sweet. So like that little snippet, the Friends to Lovers, is just I was geeking out while I was there. I was like, right, this is it. This is
Like,
it.
oh my God,
You know?
were you grabbing Josh?
Yeah.
Josh, is it? This is it.
They're in love. You
He's like,
know.
what? What do you want from me?
Um, but yeah, I thought that was really cute, like part of the show. And yeah, I'm just like especially like I don't know if you ever do this, but like when you go
Fangirl
to a
out all the
show,
time.
well, even like I know, right? But even like after days after the show, I just
Mhm.
get like I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but I'm just like, please take me back. Like I want to go back to that moment,
Yeah, okay.
like the entire show. And so then I have like all these videos saved on my phone. I'm just watching them, watching them, watching them, and I'm just like, and then I
It's
like
called
go in.
addiction.
I guess it is problem.
No, it's a good thing.
But
I
then
know
I
what you're
like, yeah,
talking about though. Yeah.
yeah. I just like want to go back. But ooh, and yeah, so something that I guess, yeah, Josh had forgotten to mention is that so like we're like 6 songs in to the set
Mm.
list at this point. It's
Oh,
very
early
early
on.
on in the
Okay.
show.
Yeah.
And somebody in the crowd had a medical emergency. I wanted to know what happened, so I did like kind of go online and I was just like, what happened? I think it was like some type of seizure.
Mm.
But so not even like it was how far in? Yeah, it was before the second pre-chorus into Rose Colored Boy that all of a sudden music stops, everything stops. She runs off stage.
Oh, wow.
And they take care of, that fan. And so like we're just kind of, sitting there like real
Just
quiet,
chilling.
like what's going on? And afterwards everything gets taken care of. But then before the song starts back up, like she comes back out on stage, she just kind of like sat there, like was I believe from what I can remember she was like sitting on the front of the stage like talking to the fans up front. And then yeah, they just like get back into it. And like I don't believe they was restarted the song back over, but they kind of started from where they were
Okay.
and just kind of went on. But I thought it was really sweet. Like,
But they didn't mention anything about it. She didn't say anything about it during the
no,
show?
and
Huh.
that's why I was kind of like, well, what happened? Because
Yeah,
from
that's
where
kind of
I
interesting.
was, I could see like over on basically it was all the way over on the other side. I could see like something was going on. Um, but Yeah, I mean, everyone was super nice and just basically like, you know, took care of each other, made sure everything was okay.
Was it a stage in the middle or was it like towards the end?
What?
The stage.
Oh, no, stage was just like, so it was just stage, pit, and then everyone around. Like it was very like,
Okay, so it was from the end out, basically.
but like from where it happened was on, so if like you're on stage facing out, it was on the left
Well,
side.
yeah, I was just trying to figure out like how they had the stage set up. That's all.
Oh, just
Yeah,
rectangle.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There
gotcha,
was no
gotcha.
like catwalk or anything. Yeah.
Hmm.
So, and I even like I think I had like said something to Josh about that. I was like, it just felt very like put back. Well, even like for those few songs, what was it? The like Liar and then Crystal Clear, they had gone up to their like B stage, which was like up, and like
Yeah,
it looked pretty crazy too. Like I was just like, what is, I don't know, like it was very like it looked like a screen. And then I
because
had
all you
them
could
kind
see
of
was like
like,
silhouettes, right? I think that's what
yeah,
Josh was
it
saying.
was the way that it was lit up, yeah, and like
Yeah,
the way they, I don't know, had the lights and everything. I was like, am I watching a screen or like they actually there? Like
right.
it was pretty crazy looking.
Hmm.
Um, but then yeah, you just kind of like, you know,
Yeah. Uh,
you're like, um, but that was cool. And then yeah, they come back down to the main stage after that because it was just the two songs that they had back up there. But it kind of the way that it looked too, it looked from like the one scene where they're in that like house thing from This Is Why. Like it kind of reminded me of that, the way
okay.
it was like set up and lit and all
Yeah.
of that.
Okay.
Um,
Nice.
but yeah, I don't know where to go from there.
See, you enjoyed yourself. You
It
enjoyed
was
yourself, didn't you?
it was a great time. They now, of course, with any other shows, like or like any concert you go to, you wish they would have played that,
Well, for
type of
sure.
thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, me personally, I loved their album that they were touring for.
Mm,
And then I was like, whatever else I get, cool, give it to
yeah.
me, you know? So,
Yeah. Nice.
but
How quickly after tickets went on sale did you get some? Were you like the first
oh,
person, one of the first people
immediately,
online? Yeah.
immediately, I was signed up for, I want to say, is it Ticketmaster? Yeah, they're
Yeah.
like, I got one of their like I got approved or something like that for their like
Mm,
pre-sale like super fan type thing.
yeah.
And then I saw a lot of people online that were like pretty mad about it, that they didn't get it. And they're like, I've gone to almost every Paramore show and I didn't get approved. And I'm like, well, maybe they see that and they want to give people like me who have never been to a Paramore show
Right.
before a chance to like get a seat, get a ticket. So it was literally, I want to say like 7, 8 o'clock in the morning when like these went live. And then like Josh and I are like in bed, like asleep, but I had like set alarms. I was ready to go.
Oh
And
my
so I'm like,
God.
I'm trying to keep him awake. I'm like, do you want to be in the pit? Do you want to be right here? They're disappearing. These tickets are going fast. Like, where do you want to be? He's like, I don't know. He's
Okay.
like, just like asleep. He's like, wherever you want to be. And I was like, okay, well, I'm getting these. Like, they're really good. That's a really good spot. Like, we'll be able to see the stage really well, you
Oh
know?
yeah.
Because I was like, I don't know if I'll be able to stand like in the pit,
Yeah.
super hot and everything, like for however long. And so, yeah, it was like super early in the morning. And then after that, like bought the tickets because they went on sale like a whole year before the show.
Right.
And so every day, every week, every month, I'm just countdowning to Paramore show,
Like, come on,
Paramore
come on, come on, come
show.
on, come on, come on, come on.
Yeah. And oh, it was so crazy. Like just like waiting and like leading up to that. So good times. Good times.
Did you get your shirt at the show? Is that
I
I
sure
was thinking you did. You
did.
sure did. Nice.
Um, and he got one too, which is, I don't think they made a whole lot of them, but it's her, like her x-rays
I was
of,
wondering if he
yeah,
got that one. We
yeah,
talked about it before, but I was trying to remember if he had said he got that. Or he was just he saw it, but he got that one.
yeah. I made sure
Nice.
that, because I mean, I liked this one. It's just pretty simple.
Yeah.
Definitely wanted it. And then I wanted like more, but obviously, like merch is super
Oh
expensive.
yeah. Oh yeah.
So I wanted to make sure that we both got at least one shirt each. And so I think that's all we ended up getting was just the two shirts. And yes, I desperately wanted him to have that one because I remember back in the day, because I've always, followed her on Instagram. And that I remember her posting that. That is her x-rays of her skull because she had to, yeah, like chill on the head banging and
Mhm.
everything. I can't remember what she had, but basically, yeah, that is her skull on that
That's
shirt.
hilarious.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
That's a nice
so
little collector's item, though, man.
I know. And I guess, yeah, they didn't have very many, because I think I saw it like later shows. People were saying they couldn't find the shirt. Maybe it was just the booth that they were at, but I was like, I felt super lucky that we were able to at least snag that.
To get that one, yeah.
Yeah. Because everyone wanted it.
Right.
Yeah. So,
All right. I
hmm.
might be rethinking this next question. I might be rethinking some life choices here. I don't know. Yeah, I know. So we've talked about some quote unquote beef. I don't remember it, but apparently you say there's some beef. So just go ahead.
Okay.
Just go right ahead.
So my initial beef was like I'm listening to the first part one of the podcast,
Right.
and I have to remember because I'm just passionate. So I was super excited. I was passionate
You're a
about
super
them.
fan. Yeah.
Yeah. And oh, you tell me that now. Um, I
Boy.
have to remember it's you guys always say this, it's the facts and your opinions.
And our opinions on said
Yes.
facts. Yeah.
And so there was just like little things here and there, like, Josh not remembering, like, because I'm sitting here blabbing about like, her relationships and like all the little like details
Right.
behind everything. And I was just like, wait, they're not going to talk about this. Like, this is why this album sounded this way. And like, this is why, she sang about this. And like, it's not just because of that. And so I was just like, hold on, chill out. But then I get to part two,
Oh no.
and sorry, I had a guest. Then I
Oh,
get to
was
part,
that Tater?
I was sassy.
Oh, okay.
Um, and somebody tells me that I'm not a true fan,
Wait,
and
what? Get out of here,
that
Sassy.
this is not my fave. Yeah, yeah, you'll have to go back to
Wait,
two.
what? I don't remember. I
Part
said that.
two. Yes,
I
you
said
said
that.
that.
I don't remember
You're like,
saying that.
you're not a true fan. Because y'all were talking about every time, like something about record sales, like their
Oh,
numbers. And like every like album that has come out, their numbers have gone down, but it's because of streaming.
yeah.
And yeah, and I was just like, this
Oh wait,
part.
were we saying like you're not a true fan if you don't buy the album?
Yeah, like I don't
Okay.
have to buy their
I don't think there
albums.
was I don't think there was much like malicious intent there. I think it was just a
And then Josh didn't stick up for
joke,
me.
but well,
So
that's
I
Josh.
had
What do you
beef.
expect from him?
I had beef with both of y'all. It's okay. I know
No, I mean
he's
in
like,
terms
ah,
of yeah, in terms of like the first part with because either you told me that or Josh told me that about not talking about like the little relationships and different things. Like, I mean, we don't know that. We're two guys. We don't know.
I know.
We just listen to the music. Now I can tell you there's some bands that I really do like, and I could probably tell you a lot more deeper stuff than just what's on the
Right.
surface, kind of like what you're talking about. But
Yeah.
yeah, with Paramore's like, I mean, I know she dated that guy, and I know she's dating Taylor now, and bad breakups and whatnot. But yeah, I do not remember the other part at
And
all.
that's
And like I
even
said, I don't
like,
think that was like malicious, like, oh, she didn't buy the album. Liz is not a true fan.
it's like, how dare
Give me
you
your
speak on
fan
my
card.
name like
Give me
that?
your fan card
How
now.
dare you? Um,
Well, and
but
then
no,
again,
I
I think
mean,
like we always, I mean, and you could probably relate too, is like we grew up, we didn't have the streaming service stuff, you know? Pandora was pretty new, but I mean, it's like we had to go buy albums, you know, and we enjoyed buying the albums. Um, Now I enjoy listening to Spotify and not having to buy the albums.
yeah, exactly. Like I feel like definitely I started using Spotify probably when I was like maybe like 15, 14,
Yeah.
15. I can't remember if that lines up when they first came out or not,
I
but
don't know when they first came out.
I feel like 2007.
Seriously?
I'm
That
pretty
long
sure
ago?
I'm pretty sure I saw something about that the other day. That
Wow.
yeah, I don't know,
I
look
didn't
it
think they
up.
were around that long. Oh, I
But
got to do the work. Okay.
um because I'm thinking,
Oh, let's see. 2000,
so yeah, I definitely would have been like,
2006.
ooh, wow.
Wow. Stockholm, Sweden. So it's probably
Yeah,
a
so
European thing first. When did it
yeah,
actually
I
make its
started
way to
using it in
America?
probably 2010, 2011.
Hmm.
Definitely 2011 though. A lot.
Hmm.
Which, you know how they do the Spotify Wraps now and like, your
Right.
most popular music. I wish I could go back because I think the latest back I've seen is like maybe 2019 for me. I'm like, I want to go back even further. Like, what was my taste back then?
Okay, so they started in Sweden in 2006. They came to America in July of 2011. So
Okay, so 2011. Yeah, that's more right then
there you
for
go.
when I started using them. Because sorry, I've never liked Pandora.
I see. I used to like it. Me and Eric have talked about this before on the podcast. I used to like it because it had a decent like formula or whatever you want to say. But I got off of it and then I went back to it again like several years after that. And I couldn't tell you what year this was, um,
Yeah.
but when I came back to it, I was listening to it again, and it was just like I could put in like Paramore, and then instead of giving me something like related to Paramore, it would give me like some like death metal. And it's like, this isn't even close. What are you doing, Pandora? So I was
Yeah.
like, this is trash, man. So I got off of that pretty quick. But yeah,
Yeah, I never, I guess for some people it worked, the whole like shuffle playlist type of vibe that it
right,
had. But I don't know. I've just always liked, with Spotify, like being able to create your own and like, you have everything saved and you can go directly to the artists and stuff like that.
right,
I feel like I never really could mess around with that with Pandora. Yeah, didn't really
right.
care for it. But
Okay,
anywho.
beef squashed.
Yeah. Yeah, everything's fine.
Okay.
I mean,
She
now
says that. She says that now.
I'm giving you
You're
the
giving,
info
that's why I wanted
now.
you on the episode so I could have
Yes,
that info,
like
you
I'm
know?
giving it, and like obviously I'm rusty. I didn't actually like because I just kind of made sure to like get all my points down for this,
Mm,
but I definitely it's borderline like
obsessed.
crazy obsessed how much information I know
Oh
between them.
boy.
And like sitting there, like I will like start like even before we went to the show, I'm sitting here like catching Josh up on all of like the Taylor and Haley lore. And he's just like, I don't need to know this.
What does that have to do with the
Like,
concerts?
yeah, he's like, okay, she's dating another one of her band members. And I'm like, no, but it's not about that. Like they've known each other since they were children and blah, blah, blah. Like I'm just
Oh
going
man.
on and I'm just like, like, and there's all these clips of them on stage, like looking at each other, and he's loved her forever, and it's just like, yeah, yeah.
Woo.
I
Okay.
get pretty deep into, and it's kind of parasocial almost, but I have to like reel myself back, and I'm like, these are people too. They have
Yeah.
lives. Like,
Right.
what if someone is peeking into your life like that? So I know. So
Yep.
yeah.
Nice.
Anywho,
Okay,
but yeah.
so I want to hear about some of your favorites from Paramore. Do you have a favorite album? I know that's
Ah,
tough. If you don't,
yeah.
it's not a problem, but
So I have like every album is I have favorites like I like every album in different ways.
Mhm.
Like I'd say, like Riot is probably like Riot, and then man, but I'm like, why do I like all these for the reasons that I like them for, you know? Um, man, I'm kind of like, I don't know, if I want to take a
Should put in
like
your notes.
I know I wasn't specific about this one. But like all we know is falling. That one, that's like if I want to like just take it back, kick
Nostalgia.
back, yeah,
Good.
type of thing. Um, Riot, if I just kind of wanted to just, I don't know, like
Mm. Okay.
just give
Yeah.
it to me hard, Now and then you go to like Brand New Eyes, and that one's a little more like sad. Um, Same with After Laughter. That one because it's yeah, so like I remember a couple months period of time where just me personally going through like growing up and growth and like definitely I relate a whole lot to the song 26
Mhm.
um which is very sad. Um yeah, just like going through and like shuffling also but like also going front to back on that album for months. That was all I was listening to. And oh man, yeah. And then obviously they're self-titled. That one, that one kind of is it's just like what do you call it? It's like kind of a mishmash
Yeah.
of like things going on because
Well, I always called it like their transition album because I feel like
right,
you still got some elements from like the first three albums, but you are getting a little taste of like what you're eventually going to get to.
right. And then I mean, because even I remember like listening to that album and then further down the line when After Laughter came out. And, I was there like right when the songs came out, right when the music videos came out. And I was like, whoa, this is different, you know?
Right.
Um, but yeah, like it was definitely, I was like, okay, I guess, I'm down with it. Um, oh my gosh. But then this is what comes out. And I don't care what both of y'all say. I love that album front to back. All the songs are amazing. I feel them, I can relate to them, like, and of course, Josh loves the most like top three popular ones. I love the more back end ones that aren't played as much.
Right.
Um, like let me go through. I can't even remember song titles, but oh, I mean, Liar is definitely about, which this is another parasocial fangirl thing. Liar is definitely about her and Taylor, like her just shoving down her feelings for him. And I was like, "Ooh." And
Oh,
then, yeah, oh my gosh, Crave, that one, I'll say definitely. It was like the day after the show. I was like on my way home, and in the car, that song comes on, and I just start crying because even when she like at the show, says like this is basically about being in the moment and wanting like craving that moment again, like wanting to go back to that. And it just took me back to that. And I was just like, I want to go
oh
back.
God.
Like I'm just crying. And now I can listen to that song without crying. I love it. And
Nice.
then Thick Skull. Thick Skull is like that's a little tidbit about her entire, time being in Paramore. And
Mhm.
then like little me insider knowledge note here. Like at the end of so basically, yeah, it's just about their time being as Paramore. At the end of that song, when the music fades out and it's just her voice, it's kind of like a little like the meaning behind it is like kind of like this is it. This is done with the time of, Paramore with a label. Now on to the next
It's
thing.
like closing the chapter
Yeah.
and starting a new one. Yeah.
And it's not like just about her, it's about all of them.
Right.
And so, yeah. Definitely love all of those. And then yeah, I can go on and on about why I love every little song about every album. But I'd say my top ones are yeah, that one, Brand New Eyes, and After Laughter. Like, yeah,
Okay.
they're
What
those
about?
are
No, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say those are yeah, my probably my top three albums. Um, but yeah, I love them all for their
Okay.
own little things.
You've mentioned some songs. Were those some of your top songs or
Oh, like with that album or just in general?
just in general, overall?
Hmm.
Oh, if you didn't write that down, it's
So,
fine.
no, I mean I could go through every album and tell you why I like
Yeah.
every song.
Oh, dear God.
I know. Um, man, like with yeah, like I said, it's just every album I'm gonna have my favorites for different reasons. Um, but yeah, because even like looking back and knowing now, like especially with After Laughter, that album, she said like she was so depressed at that time. And like with them, crazy touring and stuff like that. Like I think it was when they got off of their tour for the self-titled,
Mm,
and then she started writing that one. She was also like going through her divorce too.
right.
And so I don't know, going that one I would say if I had to rank albums, even though it's so depressing, it's probably one of my top, like top one, two. Um, Obviously, besides This Is Why. Because that one just is like a punch you. Like,
Yeah. It's a nice
because,
closer to the chapter.
yeah, because that too, and like it was coming off, the tails of like COVID and all of that
Yeah.
going
Yeah.
on. Um, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I could ramble for hours.
Okay.
I could sit here
You,
and go through every album, but yeah, I didn't necessarily like make a little note about that.
okay. What? As she takes a drink. What about,
I'm good.
do you have any lyrics written down or come to mind? I was about to say, just give me one.
No, dang
Okay,
it.
that's fine.
I
That's
don't know
good.
why. Maybe I just like was focused on everything else. I kind of
Yeah.
just like
I mean, you've talked about some lyrics
had
here
that.
too, so yeah, throughout the episode, so that's okay. Okay,
Yeah.
now comes the best part of the episode.
What?
I want you to give me and the listeners one funny story about Josh.
Oh, I for like the past week, I have like tried to rack my brain about something funny. And I don't know. I couldn't think of
Wow, he
anything.
is
I
not a
know.
funny guy. I knew
I
it.
mean, it's funny, but I don't know. I was just like, I don't know. I
It's
just couldn't
little things here
like
and there throughout
what
the day.
something that's like a
Nothing major,
little
yeah.
more like, safe to share type of thing.
Well, yeah, I don't want
Um,
anything. I
right.
don't want anything too
That's what I
crazy.
meant. Like something that he might not I don't know, want out there type of thing. But I don't know. Yeah, I tried to rap. I don't know. I'm
He's
sorry.
not a funny
I'm
man.
boring.
No,
I
you're
didn't get
good.
it.
No, you're all good. It's not you that's boring. It's Josh. Apparently, he's very boring. He lives
No.
a very mundane life. He just does his 9 to 5 job, and then he comes home
Well,
and
no, it's
does a
more like
podcast every once in a while.
because there's things that he does that I think are like
Yes,
funny.
little quirky things.
Um,
Yeah,
but I'm like, it's in more of like for like between him and I, it's more
right.
of
Yeah,
like, oh, this is why I love you, like that. So
I
that's
think I'm
why I
gonna
was like,
puke.
yeah, that's why I was like, I don't know. I
Oh
mean,
man.
also I'm trying to think of if I want to share something that happened last night that I thought was freaking hilarious.
Oh
Um,
boy, you're the one who has to live with them.
I know. No, it's okay. It's
Okay.
okay.
Okay. That's fine. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Liz, for joining the episode
Yay!
and giving us some deeper insight into the band known as Paramore. Do you have any final thoughts, final fun facts or anything?
Oh man, I think I'm like, let me go through my notes again. But I
Oh
think I
boy.
kind of just rambled. Yeah,
No, you
I
did
feel
a
like
good
I
job.
just rambled
You did a
through
good
them
job.
all and like spit them all out.
I don't think anybody
So,
would notice that you were nervous before the episode started because you were just like, eh.
because now I'm gonna be out there in the ether.
Yes, you're on the web.
Yeah.
Everybody knows you now. Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Liz.
Yeah.
Maybe if we can find another band that you really like that we talk about, we can bring it back again.
I mean, I did. I was telling Josh, I was like, you know, kind of going back, with this album, it reminded me of like, or this band, it reminded me of others that I listened to. I don't know if y'all are ever gonna cover them, but I was like, I could pop in, for like, I don't know, a day to remember.
Okay, okay.
Or because at the time, yeah, it was like that one. Um, oh, I can't even think of the name, but I remember I listened to like Woe Is Me as well. I don't
Okay.
know if you know them.
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
And oh, there was another band. It's like right there, right there. He could probably tell you.
Okay, that's
Um,
fine.
but yeah,
Yeah, we'll try to get you back on the podcast, whether it's the after hours or even on the main
I'll do
podcast.
better. I'll do better next
No,
time.
what are you talking about? Doing better. You did great. You did great this time. So thank you very much, Liz, for being on.
Yeah.
And we're back. Get rid of that special guest. It's more airtime for Eric now. Yeah. Hopefully everybody enjoyed getting to hear from my sister-in-law, my new sister-in-law, um, Elizabeth. Yeah. She's a big fan of Paramore. She's a big fan. So I was when we were coming up on Paramore, I thought, it'd be kind of interesting to see if she would want to come on here at all. And she was like, yeah, I want to come on there. Let me do it. It's like, okay, let's do it. So, all right, Eric, let's wrap this episode up with your favorites. You only have to tell me albums because I already know what they are. They're self-titled, After Laughter, and This Is Why. I mean, hands down,
That's
So
definitely.
no, go ahead and give me your favorite albums, songs, lyrics, riffs, artworks, etc., etc., etc.,
Etc. Etc.
etc.,
Let's start with
etc.
albums. This is a shocker of all shockers here. You ready? It's Riot.
No,
Wow. I know.
you just blew my mind, buddy.
I knew it would. I just couldn't help that. I mean, that is where I really dove in deep, and that's really where I stayed for a long, long time. So, I mean, I enjoy it. Still do. I still play this
I don't
album
blame you. Yeah, I don't
regularly.
blame you, dude. Maybe playing a song from there right now. Nope, never mind. I thought it was.
Honestly,
It's
I
a
play the
song
first
from
three albums still pretty regular,
right.
but
I got it on shuffle right now. It's a song from self-titled, actually. Yeah, right now. But I did have a couple from Brand New Eyes and Riot during this episode. But anyway, Nice. Favorite
So,
album, right?
absolutely. Let's hit some lyrics. So this
All
one
right.
here is from where'd it go? There it is. Caught in the Middle. That song. So off of the
Oh,
later
that's a
half of the
catchy one,
discography.
dude. That's a
It
catchy
is,
one.
but I really felt this lyric kind of described what I was feeling in part of like,
Oh,
especially like the self-titled album. But
warm
anyway,
feelings. Oh, okay.
not exactly.
I thought you were going
I
that
can
way.
no, I can sabotage myself. I don't need no one else. And let's
This is
repeat it
true.
6 times
Let
because
us
I can
repeat it.
sabotage myself. And I think that's what
Uh,
when I heard Monster for the first time, that's the way I was feeling like, man, this is not going in a good direction.
Saboteur. Saboteur.
I don't like it. So anyway,
Oh, man.
that not an awful song though, to be honest. It is catchy.
It gets stuck in your head, dude. I'm just
It
a little
definitely
bit
does.
caught in the middle.
Let's see. Now I got you a good one from That's What You Get.
I really thought you were going to say that's what she said. I don't know why. Not familiar
Well,
with
you
that
could say
one.
that about any of her lyrics, honestly. That's what she said.
That's what she said. No, literally. She said it.
So that's what you get when you let your heart win. I drowned out all my sense with the sound of its beating, because that's what you get when you let your heart win.
Oh, stupid heart. It always fails me.
That's a good song.
That's a good
Always
one
was a
too,
good
though,
song.
man.
Still
Oh yeah.
hits. Still such a banger. So anyway, let's get into this top three
Okay.
because I didn't at all pick these randomly and just plop them on there because there's so many good ones to choose from.
These were well thought out top threes. All right, here we
The
go.
top one definitely is. The
Okay.
other two are just a couple of hard old favorites that I
Okay.
go back to time and again. But there are definitely a plethora of others I could have picked for these first two. But anyway, starting
Gotcha.
with number
Okay.
three.
Number three.
That's what you get.
I really thought he was
You
going to
let your
say it
heart
again.
win.
Stop doing that to me. Number two.
Misguided Ghosts. And
Oh,
I
okay.
like
Wasn't
that song. I
expecting
really
that one. Okay.
that one and what's the other acoustic? The one that you don't tend to much care for
Yeah,
anymore.
I was gonna ask you about that. Oh, well, you and I actually just talked about that last week, didn't we?
Yeah,
The only
we did.
exception. Yeah.
Only exception,
Yeah.
yeah. Those two
It
have
just,
long been good plays for me. I enjoy them both. But
yeah.
Misguided won out just a little bit. It is a little bit less played. And it's a really good like theme to the song, being lost and just feeling like a ghost floating around. It's pretty good stuff, especially when I found, you know, Paramore and whatnot. And when that album came out, being a little teeny bopper myself, I was going, "That's me. I'm a ghost. I don't know where I'm going." So
Oh my gosh.
I mean, not
Having a
exactly, but you
breakdown.
get my point. Like, I'm totally
No,
having a breakdown right now.
I believe you're doing it in that high voice too. I don't know what's happening. I don't know where I'm going with my life.
May or may not have been before puberty, so that's why the high voice. But anyway,
Number one.
Misery Business.
What?
Couldn't be more basic of a fan, but I love Misery
No, it's
Business.
so basic. Eric is so
I
basic.
am. I really am when it comes to Paramore.
Man. Yeah, I mean, that's the one I feel like if you were our age back in the day, that's the song I feel like everybody got introduced to Paramore. You know,
Yeah. I mean,
I
it
mean,
hits hard. It goes in
yeah,
fast. She's got those snappy lyrics, and
it
the way she
hits
belts it
hard.
too
She
is
says to
amazing.
hit that drum right there. Hit it. Hit that right there. Hit it. Hit it. I mean,
Hit that
she
snare.
tells them to hit hard, bro. Yeah. The marching
Exactly.
band at the
Good
beginning
stuff.
too. Yeah. Oh yeah. That's some good
Yes.
stuff, man. That's
Yes.
some good stuff. All right.
Fantastic.
Nice. Anything else there in your favorites? Or I guess you went through it all, didn't you?
Yep. That's the big part of it.
All right. Wait,
Yep.
what's your final thoughts on the band known as Paramore, Eric?
Final thoughts. As for me and my household, we will be sticking to the first three.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Uh,
Nice. Nice one. Is that the book of Eric, chapter 7, verse 3? Very
absolutely.
nice. Very nice.
I mean, that may
Oh,
be
is
the
that it?
nostalgia
No,
talking
I thought
too,
that
though.
was
No.
okay. I thought there was more.
No, that might be my inner nostalgia talking, my little teeny
Your inner
angsty self.
child.
But
Yeah.
I really did love those first three. I spun those a lot back in the day. So I do tend to just like the old sound better too, though. I mean, it's not just bands I know now. Like I found a band during COVID, and I really started liking one particular album. I go to look, when was this made? And it was like 2008 or 2009. I go, that's about right. It's just that sound from that era I just tend to like.
Yeah.
I don't know. And it's a completely
Yeah.
new band to me and never heard him before COVID, but I got it really into him. I was like, oh, okay. That figures. So that's just what these old ears like to hear. So,
Those
and I really
good-
like back when,
Go ahead.
go ahead. Oh.
No, go ahead. You go ahead.
I really liked back when she also, belted out when she
Mhm.
sang. And that's a big part of that first three albums is she belted every one of those words.
Just too busy dancing now.
Yeah, fair.
I just remembered I have my sunglasses on. I can't see me, so yeah. Come on. Man. I think they're glued to my face now.
Oh man.
Oh boy. Yeah, they give me those
So-
first three albums always give me that good summertime vibe, Windows
Yeah,
rolled down, driving. Yeah, good times, man. Good times. Alrighty,
So
Eric,
if you
anything
do
else?
more poppy
go.
sound, the funky sound, the whatever you want to call that
Boopity
sound,
boop boop.
and the more I'm going to say it, I'm going to get some backlash. The more Billie Eilish style vocals of the later stuff.
Nice. I can see my eyebrow.
But anyway, go for it. Try it
Okay.
out. I would personally say go ahead and skip over self-titled, but the later two, they're produced well. They're not terrible lyrically. But like I said, I'm just wasn't what I was signed up for in the original.
Not
If you like it, dude, go
not
for
your
it.
cup of tea, buddy. Yeah,
Right.
I hear you.
You do what you want. I
You
ain't
do
here
you.
to boss you around. If I was going to boss you around, I'd say play those first three nonstop. But hey, you do.
Burn the other copies. Yeah. Oh man.
Just a self-titled
Well,
album. I don't like that.
Oh, you heard it here first from Eric. Burn your self-titled albums. Yeah. We think about an album title, etc., etc., etc.
Etc. Etc. I can't imagine because the music we kind of like trying to either say that in harsh vocals or I don't know. Yeah.
Right. Well, I didn't say it
That could
had
be
to be like something like that. I'm just saying overall. I mean, I guess it would depend on like your genre, probably, but yeah, anyway.
Right.
I don't know if I
mean-
see a death metal band or
Et cetera,
like a
et cetera.
grindcore or something. It's our new album, etc., etc., etc. Like what the? All right. Anyway, anything else?
I'm here for it. Let's do it.
You got anything else?
No, that's all I got for Paramore.
Well, let's get on.
Good
outta
old
here
fashioned
then,
band.
buddy.
We like it.
Make sure to follow us on Twitter at It's Survived by Pro for news and the latest episode postings, not just on this show, but our other shows as well. We have the History of the Cores podcast where I sit down. No, I don't sit down. I do sit, but it's me and Josh. I don't sit down with Eric on that episode. That's what we're doing right here, right now. That's me and Josh on the Pop podcast of this very podcast right here going through the history and discography of bands from the core genre. We also have the Red Right Hand podcast, which has covered all 6 seasons of the BBC/Netflix hit show, The Peaky Blinders. And we also have the Throne of the Dragon podcast, which has covered season 1, currently covering season 2 of House of the Dragon from HBO. Make sure to check out those brand new episodes. Also, while you're on Twitter, make sure to follow my co-host at Joshua Lynn Gary. Make sure to leave us a 5-star review and write us a comment on whatever podcast service you're using. There you go, Eric. If you want to listen to us and see our smiling faces or my goofy sunglasses, just head on over to YouTube. Just search Is Survived By Productions. That'll have every episode from all of our shows. Subscribe to the channel. Thumbs up the video. Sunglasses off.
There they go.
It's so bright in here. Alrighty, until the next episode where we're talking about the band from first to last. We'll see you.